Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Goo Review. I'm Moose, and today I'm doing a channel update and answering the question, am I okay? Um, which is a silly question, but not really. So channel update, I'm still here, I'm still around. I know I've been lagging a little bit and trying to find focus, but am I okay is kind of the thing that is tying into how my channel is doing. So just like everyone, this COVID thing has been tough. It's not easy for anyone anywhere in the world, as far as I know. And we're all struggling with it in our own ways, whether struggling with the isolation, lack of income, being furloughed, or like laid off, and like not knowing when your next paycheck's coming, or if the stimulus check is coming, or whatnot. Um, and I guess I'm gonna talk about how this quarantining and isolation has been for me, how it's affected me, and what has happened and what is happening. So I don't want to be long-winded with this or stretch this on for longer than it needs to, but basically, here in Minnesota, I think the stay-at-home order went into place the third week in March, or maybe even the fourth week in March. And so people basically ran to the grocery stores, bought up all the resources they could, and hunkered down. And I remember those 2 weeks being really interesting because most people started working from home. Some people had those 2 weeks off from work, whatever, but everybody was home except, certain essential workers were still working. And I worked in an essential job. I could have worked at home, but due to, technology resources, I went to the school. So I work at a school, and I use the internet there as well as the space to continue doing my work. And so it was always weird because driving on the roads, it was just gone. There was no cars. The commutes were easy, but it was like a ghost town. And so I mean, everything was fine and dandy, I guess. But then towards the end of April, things started to open up, or people started to kind of get out of their shell and go shopping at least, and then curbside stuff started happening and whatnot. And now it's to the point where most businesses are open in some fashion, whether it's curbside pickup or you just have to wear a mask. A lot of places are requiring masks and certain distancing and certain capacity limitations. So for the most part, things are opening up, and it's summer in Minnesota. And when it's summer in Minnesota, Minnesotans get out. So that's going fine. It's going pretty well for the most part. I think our numbers are doing okay. But with COVID and with 2020 is full of surprises. Things happen. And I think the hardest thing that affected me most emotionally is basically about in between between April and May. 4 people that I have met personally, and at least crossed paths personally, have died. And it's been kind of a shock to the system. Like, these are people that I didn't necessarily know that well, but I still met them. I still can say I met them and I exchanged words with them, and whether it's a long conversation or a minute conversation. But and it started off with a close friend, a family friend for that matter. I mean, I've known this guy since I was probably in 3rd grade when he was just a little kid, and but basically I have a best friend, and he has 2 brothers, and his youngest brother decided to take his own life and commit suicide. And so that was a huge shock to the system. But he struggled with depression and obviously got the better of him, and so that was really tough. And it just kind of knocked me out of my gourd. And then, and he's, I mean, it's just tragic. He was such a nice guy, and he traveled the world. He did a lot and saw a lot for a guy his age. And then the very next day, my buddy's a friend, his mother passed away. She went out for a walk and just suddenly suffered like a stroke or some sort of cardiovascular issue, and she passed away. So in 2 days, two people that I knew passed away. And then later on, I think a few days later, somebody else passed away in a very brutal, unnecessary fashion. And I was more of an acquaintance, but I met this guy, shook his hand, I crossed paths with him a number of times, and that person is George Floyd. And at first I saw the video, and I didn't think anything of it. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, the video is disgusting, but there's so many different videos that pop up of people of color getting killed, or anyone getting killed, and some people getting killed by the hands of police. And it wasn't until later that I saw a post on Facebook that in my dance community, he was the bouncer at the club that I would go dancing at. And I wouldn't go there all too often, but I went there enough, and I was better friends with one of the bouncers. And he's like, yeah, have you met this guy? This is my friend George or whatever, and he was one of the bouncers there. And so yeah, huge shock to the system. Like, holy cow! Like, so many times you see things on the news, and you're like, oh yeah, that's so bad. But then when you look and you see and you realize that that person, it's even a bigger kick in the face. And it was just crazy because you never think you'd know that person in that video. All I can say is, from my encounters with George specifically, he was a nice guy. He was always respectful. I mean, I've been to plenty of clubs throughout my day, and I've seen, bouncers that are just there to be tough and be jerks and, be really pushy. But he seemed nice. He did his job. He kept us safe. So, I mean, in that instance, all I can say is good things about him from what I personally saw and encountered with him. So within a week now, that's 3 people. And then about a week or 2 after, my buddy's son, or his wife's son, passed away. So that's 4 people. So basically 4 people in about 3 to 4 weeks passed away, and it's just been kind of a roller coaster over and over, just like how sad and how depressing. And then finding out family members or friends are losing their jobs, and then you see the numbers. So it's been really rough, and I have to say that I fought through a lot of that to get posts out every week. And luckily for me, I had filmed things prior, and all I had to do was kind of just quickly edit them and put them up. But the things that happened really killed my motivation to create. I was following news headlines and watching protests and riots and checking in on my buddies and seeing how they're doing, and trying to work on myself and figure out how do I get around this, and at the same time still working, working 2 jobs. I also work at a butcher shop, and so that's an essential service because people are buying tons of ground beef and everything else, and so still working. And it's just been there's been so many other things to focus on other than YouTube. And I love YouTube. I love being a creator. I love being able to produce content that people appreciate, even if they just take a glance at it. And as long as I get one little thing from it, it makes me feel good. And so it's been a struggle, and I'll admit right now, my motivation's not there. Once all the sadness kind of calmed down, I, look to being social in what way I can, and working at the butcher shop. A lot of the guys there, they play Magic, so I took up Magic just so I can socialize with them now, and so now I play Magic, and that's kind of been my release, my way of de-stressing and looking past all the kind of the sad, depressing things that are happening. So yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of doing self care and trying to heal things, and I know my friends that you know are trying to heal things, and the world's trying to heal. But I want to make this video, let you know where I'm at and what I'm doing. Two, it's the summertime. I don't have that much money to be throwing into buying knives to review, so I still got some. I just need to start filming again, and that's what I'm hoping to do in the next couple weeks. But I apologize for not delivering the content consistently lately, and not throwing out more knife videos. But hopefully I can at least put out a video once a week that you guys find interesting or whatever. And if you have any ideas, please shoot me a comment down below with your video ideas, because I always appreciate those. But other than that, I just want to say thank you to everyone that supports my channel. Thank you for giving me a chance and help motivate me to continue to create content. All I can say, I'm going to work hard to do more videos. I might do some comparison videos between different knives, because I need to kind of recycle the knives that I have, since I can't get new ones. But also I want to start producing kind of a string of camping skill videos. I know I've done a couple in the past called Moose Skills, so maybe I'll start that up again. But once again, thank you so much. Please I appreciate the support, so if you want to keep supporting me, thank you. Other than that, I hope everyone's doing well and is doing their best to get through all the craziness, and never forget to take time to take care of yourself. And I forgot, every video from now on, I will keep the suicide hotline number in my comment section, or in my whatever, the description down below. Okay. My buddy passed away. I wish we could have gotten him more help. I know his family tried everything they could to help him, but if you ever need someone to talk to, or if you're suicidal for whatever reason, use that phone number down there. Use those links, or even just Google search it. Just know that no matter how low you're feeling, it's not the end of the world, and that things will get better. So thank you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, share, and care for yourself and others. Thank you, and I'll see you outside.